getting into the video. As you can tell behind the screen, we got another preseason preview video for you guys here. This one is for the Philadelphia Eagles fans of the world. The Fly Eagles fly, if you know what I mean. But before we get into it, make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, turn that notification bell on so you're notified anytime that we upload a video. We're on the road to 100 subscribers, so if you guys could, please hit that subscribe button. We greatly appreciate it. For everyone that has, we greatly appreciate you. Now, are the Eagles, I never thought that sentence would come out of my mouth ever again, legit Super Bowl contenders? Let's find out.
Coming from the salty Patriots fan who got his butt kicked in the Super Bowl.
Yeah!
Back up.
Starting off, we got their last season stats. They were 9-8 overall team ranking. They were 10th. This is according to PFF, by the way. They were 10th overall, 7th offense, 19th defense, 14th special teams. This is according to PFF, so if you like PFF, good for you. If you don't, good for you. This is what we're rolling with, and this is what you're getting. Boom. Now, defense, a little lackluster last year if you going off the PFF stats here. Offense, not too shabby, but that defense, got to be better. You guys made the playoffs last year. Sadly, had to face good old Tom Brady in the playoffs to start it off in the wild card and everything. But, yeah. There are positives from last season. You guys made the playoffs. Jalen Hurts is a goated fantasy fantasy quarterback. Puts up good points there. He's not a terrible NFL quarterback. He gets the job done. That RPO offense that is ran there suits him kind of well. I think his decision-making kind of hurts him in a few occasions with what he decides to do with the football by either not handing it off, keeping it for himself, or not trying to look for that extra option or run through the pass option part of that offense with Devontae Smith and Jalen Reagor and J.J. Arcega-Whiteside.
Ortega.
But now, I think he'll be throwing the ball a lot more with, as you can see by the offseason moves, with the addition of A.J. Brown. I think he'll be looking for that pass option more than the run option part of that offense. And then also to help boost that defense with James Bradbury coming over from the Giants and teaming up with Darius Slay on that defense. Good lockdown corners there. James Bradbury, he's okay. He's serviceable. Darius Slay, he's good. He can get the job done. But having both those guys on that defense, I mean, you have two good corners. That's good. That's what you want. That's what you want. So
I like you downplaying how good they are. You know, just to get just to throw the elbow in there a little bit.
Yeah. I'm just downplaying it. They drafted very well. As you can tell by the next point, they had a very good draft with Jordan Davis, Cam Jurgens, beast dog. That dude's a dog.
Nebraska sucks.
No, they do, but Cam Jurgens is a dog. And also getting the steal of almost a lifetime if it pays out with Nakobe Dean in like the third or fourth. I think they got him in the third round. The guy that was a high first-round pick had a little pec issue and dropped all the way to the third round, and the Eagles are like, yep, thank you very much, we'll take that. And they signed Hassan Reddick too, didn't they? Yeah, they did. It says right there. Signed Edge Hassan Reddick, yep. Mm-hmm. And so, is he a true edge? I thought he was more of kind of like a...
He's an outside linebacker.
Yeah, okay. That's what
say. He just blitzes a lot more.
Yeah.
And especially in the Eagles scheme, he'll be blitzing quite a bit. So
yeah. So, but that linebacking group with Hassan Reddick, I mean, you can kind of throw him in there if you want, and Nakobe Dean, and I think they have one more really good linebacker.
Alex Singleton was the linebacker last year. I think they still have him.
Okay. That's still a good linebacking core, though.
Right now, though.
Still a good linebacking core.
Yeah, they improved it this offseason. They really needed to. It was one of their biggest weaknesses from last year. Mm-hmm. They picked up Kaiser White from the Chargers. That's who. They had Singleton last year, got rid of him. They picked up Kaiser White, Hassan Reddick, and then signed Nakobe Dean as well. But they don't really run 3 linebackers. It's not a
No.
huge deal. They just need 2 solid ones.
Yeah, which they have. So they re-signed Fletcher Cox by re-signing. I think they cut him for some. They cut him and then re-signed him so that way he took like a pay cut and a less cap hit and to help out the team and everything. Right? I think that's how that worked.
Yeah, pretty much.
I think that's what he did.
He was looking at other places, but he came back for that and helped him out,
Yeah.
basically.
Re-signed defensive end Derek Barnett and re-signed center Jason Kelsey for 1 year. I think it was 1 year or 2 years maybe.
Yeah, he just pushed retirement. He was contemplating it, decided to come back. It's good for him.
Yeah.
Good pickup.
I think
it's
it
a
is
great offensive line up there.
Yeah, I think it's smart for them to re-sign him as well and kind of hopefully show like Cam Jurgens how to he knows how to play center, but play center for the Eagles, be a part of that offensive line, get that chemistry going with the guys because Cam Jurgens can't end up being your like franchise center in a sense or being that go-to guy. He can't be that next Jason Kelsey for you guys.
Yeah, he's a good interior offensive lineman.
Mm-hmm.
Getting into the key points, the main man, will Jalen Hurts be able to take that next step in the offense this year? Will he be able to, Mikey?
I'd like to say yes. I hope one of the coaches. Who's there? Do they still have
Nick Sirianni?
Yeah, Nick Sirianni. I hope with the addition of AJ Brown and having Devontae Smith, and with that RPO option or RPO offense that they run, I hope that Nick Sirianni can look Jalen Hurts in the face and tell him, Devontae Smith is open. AJ Brown is open. Dude, you don't have to run the football. It's okay. You can hand it off. You can throw it. You don't have to play hero ball. Like, you're good at running the ball, but he needs to be able to be told that he needs to, oh my God, I keep saying, he needs to be able to look at the next option instead of just hoping for himself.
And he also needs to anticipate. There's a lot of times where his wide receivers are wide open and he just doesn't trust his eyes.
Yes.
Or he knows the scheme and the guy's not open yet, but he's going to be wide open in a second. You just got to throw it to that spot. He struggled with that quite a bit. So Jalen Hurts, if you watched him play, it was a hot mess. It was really good and really bad.
Yes.
He's obviously got great athleticism. He has done very good scrambling for you guys. And then he's got the arm talent. It's really just like the reading the defense part.
Mm-hmm.
Like Mikey said, passing the ball, mixing in that with that RPO. My biggest thing with Jalen Hurts, because I did have Miles Sanders and Devontae Smith in my fantasy team last year, I watched them pretty much every week. And this dude does not understand that a run pass option, that O means option. Like he can hand that ball off or read option. Like you can give it to the running back. Miles Sanders does exist. Miles Sanders is very good.
Mm-hmm.
Like extremely good. I still don't understand how he doesn't just get touches, right? Like I remember 2 years ago we played the Eagles when Carson Wentz was there in Cleveland in a monsoon and Sanders was killing us. And in the second half they refused to go to him. They just threw the football and they lost. Like they were like dominating our defense. We couldn't stop them. And then all of a sudden they just stopped giving him the ball. And they did that this year. They just refused to give him the ball. He averages like 6 yards or like 4.5 yards a carry or something like that. Like he's got good touches. I don't understand it.
Yeah.
But this is about Jalen Hurts. I'm a skeptic, I'll be honest. From watching like film and watching videos of people also film and seeing what other people's opinions are on him and trying to, see if it aligns with what I'm thinking. If you watch him play, he struggles very hard. He's very inaccurate sometimes, which is not like a huge deal, but in the NFL it is. Like you can't be inaccurate 6 or 7 passes a game. That's going to cause you problems. He doesn't read the field well at all. He can't make those anticipation throws.
Yeah.
He doesn't do it often, and he can do it. It's just if the defense goes into a certain zone package, he's just done. Like if you watch the Buccaneers game, it was bad. I mean, Devontae Smith was open like 80% of the time, and that dude didn't even get the ball until the fourth quarter.
Yep.
Like he can't do it. But that was his first year in there, kind of thrown in, with the Carson Wentz crap kind of going on. Let's see what he can do with another year. And we had a video about it, like on Jalen Hurts and Tua Tagovailoa. He's got this year. This is your ride or die year. This is where you can make your career. If you want to be getting paid that extra contract and you want to be a starter in the NFL, this is your time. And you've got no excuses because this Eagles team is good.
Yeah, super good.
And that's what we're getting. They added key players to strengthen their and increase their depth in areas of need everywhere, and not just depth. They've also like increased and better improved their starters in places as well, like all over. That improved wide receiver room, adding with Devontae Smith and AJ Brown, and bringing in Zach Pascal. You no longer have to have Jalen Reagor out on that field.
Mm-hmm.
You can have that converted quarterback that plays sometimes. That's really good for him. Randomly throughout the year. Gosh, I'm spacing on his name. So they now have like a legitimate wide receiver core that Justin Hurts can throw, or Jalen Hurts can throw to, hopefully. But we'll kind of get into that. The stats just look a lot better than the eye test. That's kind of the key point with Hurts. Like a lot of the time, it came in the fourth quarter when they were down by a buttload, right? And you don't want to see that. But he's got the potential. We'll see if he can move on. And then we'll get to this big point right here. Are they able to beat the good teams? They were 9-1 last year against teams that were under 500. And they were
0-6 on versus teams above 500.
No, that's incorrect. I messed up that math.
Oh.
That's what I was just doing because it's 9-8 and that's only 9-7.
Well, maybe they
and
a team that was actually 500 and they lost.
Yeah, they beat a 500. They beat a 500 team and they lost. So they're 8-2 and then they're 1-6. That's the math. My bad. They beat the Saints, who are above 500. Miscollect that. Disregard that. But like that's 1-6 against teams above 500, and you only beat those under 500 teams. That's not a great. It's not a great look. Let me pull it up. I have it all the way in front of me. I just had it a second ago. Mike, you just pause this.
Okay.
I legitimately had this entire stat shit up. Because this guy made a really good article.
What do you want this?
No, that's for the defense. Okay.
Well, you're the one that's going to be editing this one, so ha.
Okay. Where were we at?
I don't know. You're just talking about the 500 thingy above 500, and then you said, "I got this right in front of me."
Ready? All right. Waving my hand. That means start. Okay. So they were actually 8-2 versus teams under 500, and then 1-6 against teams that were above 500. They beat the Saints that finished 9-8 as well as the Eagles. They lost to Matt Ryan. They lost to the Panthers. Or no, they beat the Panthers. They beat the Falcons. They beat the Lions. They beat the Broncos. They beat the Saints. They beat the Jets. They beat the Commanders. They beat the Giants, and then they beat the Commanders again. Those are their 9 wins. None of which made the playoffs. Right? Like, those teams combined with a record of 53, 99, and 1. And they had one of the worst point differentials of 896, like negative 896 with those teams that they beat. And, in the NFL, you can only play who's in front of you. And usually the schedule's all about, even and whatnot. But that year was just bad. And it happened because of injuries. They played Matt Ryan, Sam Darnold, Jared Goff, Teddy Bridgewater for half the game before he got hurt, Trevor Siemian, Zach Wilson, Garrett Gilbert, Mike Glennon, Jake Fromm, and Taylor Heineke. They didn't play against any good quarterback, which leads me into this next point: is can their defensive coordinator and his scheme handle good quarterbacks because they struggled last year, and it's not like they had a bad defense on paper. They had a really good team and good secondary, and they struggled quite a bit. If Mikey can go over to the next slide, I can kind of go into it. You can see the opposing quarterbacks and their QB ratings and how well they were. I mean, Dak Prescott got 143 QB rating against them. They lost that game. Patrick Mahomes had 131 QB rating. They lost that game. They lost to Justin Herbert. They lost to Tom Brady. They lost to Derek Carr. They lost to Tom Brady earlier in the year. They lost to Jimmy Garoppolo. I mean, even Daniel Jones had a 94 QB rating against them. Jared Goff in their win, he still had a great game. Zach Wilson, who struggled all year, played really well against them. And then you can kind of see at the bottom where the games that they won were against these quarterbacks that weren't good and they didn't have good games, right? And that's obvious, right? Your quarterback doesn't play good, you're not going to win. But against all those quarterbacks, they didn't just get beat, they got torched. And you can see that here next to it, you got the side-by-side. 5 of those quarterbacks had 80% completion percentage. Not just a good game, but like literally didn't have any like quarrels with the game at all. Like they just kind of walked through it. You know, Dak Prescott had 80% completion. He had 230 yards, 240 yards, 3 touchdowns, no picks. Patrick Mahomes put up almost 300 yards, 5 touchdowns, and only 1 pick with 80% completion. Tom Brady put up 80% with 300 yards, 2 touchdowns. Derek Carr put up 91% with 330 yards and 2 touchdowns against him. Justin Herbert, you know, it's a struggle. And the defensive coordinator stayed the same. But they did add James Bradbury, which is a good help. Just curious to see how it's going to work for them. They obviously have a really good team. This is like their make or break year for Jalen Hurts. And this roster's built really well. The Eagles front office did a very good job this offseason. I'm really excited to see what they can do. I'm skeptical about Jalen Hurts, but I think he has the potential to do it.
Yep.
And like you said, you're in the NFC East. So not being a world beater is not a big deal because it gets you into the dance still.
Yep.
Right? Like you just have to get into the dance. But that comes down to, like, are they legit Super Bowl contenders? I'm going to say no, not yet. I think they're on the way for that. That's kind of where I'm at. I don't think they're a legitimate Super Bowl contender. I think they're legitimate playoff contenders.
Yes.
And we'll see.
I agree.
We'll see in a year or so.
Yep. I agree with that.
But then it comes down to the tricky point right here. I can pull up their schedule really quick because we just kind of went over, you know, all the teams they beat and they lost, and they had a 9-8 season. And before we end our videos with these, we kind of like to say, you know, are they going to stay about the same? They're going to get better? Are they going to get worse? And they had 9-8, and this year they play the Lions, the Vikings, the Commies, the Jags, the Cardinals, the Cowboys, the Steelers, the Texans, the Commies, the Colts, the Packers, the Titans, the Giants, the Bears, the Cowboys again, the Saints, and then the Giants again. So do they get better or do they get worse or do they stay the same?
Oh man, it's so tough.
I'll go with this. I think their team got much better, but I think
Yeah.
their record's going to stay the same.
Yeah, that's kind of
And
where I'm at.
they'll make the playoffs. Yeah, they'll make the playoffs. I think easily. I think they'll win their division. I think the Cowboys they lost too much and they didn't really add anything back. Whereas the Eagles are just flying high right now.
Yeah, I think that's kind of what they're going off of. Everything that's happened this offseason, they did well. And like you said, they have the same defensive coordinator. Or are they going to make changes to that? If they don't, you're going to be looking at that same defensive rank, if not worse. So,
And it's really interesting because they have like these the huge, great fan base that are super avid. And so you get a lot of like reports and stuff, and you get to see a lot of this stuff about them. And you can just see like this like super team that they're putting together, right? Like everyone just looks so good. And then you bring in like there's some valid concerns. You know, their defense can't stop good quarterbacks. Their offense, their quarterback, he misses many big opportunities. Is he going to be able to fix that this year? And then overall, as a team, are they going to be able to beat those good teams when they need to? So like, there's like 3 really good points, and then there's 3 like valid points. I'm like, ooh, I don't know. So I'm excited to see. They're a fun team to watch.
Yeah.
And I'm just glad the NFC East is getting a little bit better.
Yep.
With that being said, Eagles fans, let us know in the bottom in the comment section below where you guys think we hit, where we missed. Rip us. Let us know what you guys think about your guys' season. Who knows? But if you guys made it to the end of this video, we do appreciate it. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button, hit the like button as well, and hit the notification bell so you'll be notified when we release more videos, which should be coming out soon. Deuces.
Peace out.